sure that we can go racing. It's not easy when you have to rearrange working schedules and everything else.
Well, here we are at Creg-ny-Ba on Tuesday morning for the first racing of race week proper after the newcomers race last Saturday. This morning's racing was delayed from yesterday. Monday was a washout, but here we are at Creg-ny-Ba to watch the combined 350cc 250cc Classic Grand Prix. And that's the view we have from the balcony of the Creg-ny-Ba Hotel, and we look straight up the road towards Kate's cottage, and we'll look down the road round the sweeping left hand corner, which is known as Hilbury. We can see almost as far down as Creg-ny-Ba, and then the riders pass Signpost Corner, Governor's Bridge, and they are then at the grandstand at the end of their 37-mile stint. Everybody is geared up and ready to go on the grandstand opposite, and the course car, the road closing car, the inspection car, comes down from Kate's cottage, round the bend in front of us, and on down to Hilbury as we await the first of the riders. That observation, of course, is somewhat premature because it'll probably be 15-16 minutes before anybody arrives, because back at the grandstand the Isle of Man national anthem is being played and people are going through the formalities of the start, but the flag will drop and the first of the riders, who will be Roy Richardson, will be off down Bray Hill and will be with us ere long. Meanwhile, the marshals positioned just under the balcony where I'm standing prepare themselves for a busy day's racing, aided and abetted by a Manx copper there. The sound of Roy Richardson's motorcycle precedes him, and here he is rushing into view and round the corner. Number one. Because of the slight delay in starting, this will be a 3-lap race rather than the scheduled 4 laps. The sound of Roy's bike fades into the distance, and the next one to hove into view will be number 2, Chris Palmer, the local man, on his 349cc Honda. Chris lives in Castletown and he doesn't have far to come for his day's racing. The clouds overhead are moving almost as quickly as the riders beneath them. The scene is constantly changing. The race is well underway now, and the next 2 bikes to hove into view, Alan Oversby number 3, who will be in 5th place at the end of the lap, followed by number 5 Nigel Moore, who will be in 4th position. Down through the gears as he approaches the bend, Alec Whitwell on his 350 Honda, sponsored by Jeff Bates Racing, and he's in 6th position. three men in a hurry, in no mistake now. Number 10, Davy Morgan. Number 9, Bob Price. And 17, Chris Swallow. You could almost cover them with a blanket. And the fast approach now is by number 7, Chris Petty, on his 350 Honda, and he's in 14th position. Number 15, Peter Richardson, has certainly come up through the field. He's now in 7th position, having started as the number dictates at number 15. So well done, Peter Richardson. Number 14, Meredith Owen, is one of the people that Peter Richardson would have overtaken, but he too has risen up the leaderboard. He's in 11th position, whereas Keith Dixon, number 8, on his 350 matchless, has drifted down the field and is running in 20th position at the moment as he approaches the end of his first lap. And here comes number 19, Ken Davis, who's described as riding a 350 Bates. He's in 10th position, so clearly Mr. Bates knows exactly how to put a bike together. And Ken knows how to ride it. And the next two are very close together. Number 18, Tony Mason, and the chappie behind him is number 16, Dean Martin. It took me a while to distinguish his number, but it's Dean Martin on his 350 Honda, running in 17th position. The clouds move down the hill almost as quickly as the bikes, but Dave Matravers from Taunton, number 23, running in 12th position, is quite clearly keeping well ahead of the weather. And the next one in view is number 21, Grant Sellers, on a very realistic and nostalgic sounding Manx Norton. He's running in 19th position. Meanwhile, Brian Cooper, number 20, is riding one of the bikes that put Norton, at least commercially, off the map. A 350 Drixton Honda, and he's running in 21st position. It's wonderful sitting here, or standing here on this balcony. Some arriving, some leaving, and one arriving there is number 27, Alex Sinclair, newcomer, on his 350 Honda. He's running in 15th position. And this is Arthur Browning, number 22, on his HAS Sebmar. Used to be referred to as the boy racer, I think. The bike, that is, not Arthur. It's 24th position. Another duo, number 24, Tim Vernal, on his Aermacchi 350, and Bruno Leroy on his Honda of similar capacity. And this is number 32, Heffin Owen, who's number 32, is in 16th position, so he's clearly progressing heffing quickly. Progressing more sedately and maintaining really their start position, number 28, Jimmy Creer, in 25th position. and number 29, Joel Williams, who's progressed slightly up the leaderboard and is in 22nd position on his Gold Star. Here comes number 45, the first of the smaller class of bikes, the 250s, Ewan Hamilton, number 45 on his Suzuki. First of this duo in the larger class is 34, Edward Poole on his Manx Norton, and Jim Smythe, number 25, is riding his Drixton Honda, and there he is, and he's last in that class at the moment. Another duo, the first of which is number 50, Peter Symes, the leader in the smaller class, and he's followed by number 31, Paul Matravers, who's 27th on the 350. Another duo to deal with now, and in fact I think the last two on the road in the 350 class, number 35 David Webber and number 36 Rob Jones. David's driving a Matchless and Rob Jones a Honda. We're now left with only the smaller bikes to deal with, and this is number 55 Dave Edwards on his 250 Yamaha, and he's followed by number 53 Bob Millinship. Down through the gears, round the corner and away down towards Hilbury. Two of the smaller bikes in fairly close order now. Number 58 Jeff Bates on his 250 Honda, and the chappie behind him is number 61 Billy Cummins, Connor's dad. And the next rider on the scene adds a bit of colour and a bit of variety in terms of motorcycle mark. Ian Griffiths, number 59, on his Aermaki. I remember Aermakis racing under the Harley Davidson banner when they were owned by that company, but I don't think that's any longer the case. Well, he seems a long time a-coming, but here he is, number 60, David Clark, on his 250 Suzuki. Very colour coordinated in his green leathers, green motorcycle, and going really well. The clouds continue to scud across the course, and the rider approaching now is number 56, Ross Johnson, on another interesting machine, the 250 Royal Enfield. I wonder how many Crusader Sports parts there are left in that engine. Not many, I guess. Andy Wilson, number 57, is probably the last on the road at the end of the first lap. He, of course, is in the 250 class race. So after about 16 or 17 minutes of watching the racing from this vantage point, we're already expecting the first competitors through at the end of their second lap. We shall of course see the larger bikes first, the 350s, followed by the smaller ones. And it remains to be seen whether the leadership has changed or whether we're still in roughly the same sort of rider sequence. And here comes the first surprise. We've no longer got Roy Richardson at the head of the pack, but it's the local man, Chris Palmer, rider number 2, with his 350 Honda. And here comes the second man on the road, 2/3 of the way down the straight, with somebody else hard on his tail. And the first of those is Nigel Moore, and the second one undoubtedly is Alan Oversby, number 3. And the fourth man on the road is now appearing down from Kate's, and who is it? It's number 17, Chris Swallow, a gentleman who these days hails all the way from New Zealand with his 350 Aermacchi. And 20 seconds or so behind Chris Swallow, and in 6th place, we should see number 6, Alec Whitwell, on his Honda. And there we have him. And who's going to slot into 5th place? Well, the answer is quite simple. Number 15, Peter Richardson. And there he goes. And behind him is rider number 9, Bob Price, on his 350 Honda, sponsored by Austin Powered Racing, rather odd name, the motorcycle sponsor, and he's in 8th position. beauty of this vantage point is that you can see it all happening. Those that are rising and those that are sliding. Meredith Owen, number 14, has risen to number 9, whereas Chris Betty, number 7, has slipped back into 14th position on his Honda. But only time will tell whether he can regain the ground which he has lost. And here come a couple more risers. Ken Davis, number 19, has risen from 10th position to 7th on the leaderboard, and behind him is Keith Dixon, number 8, who's risen from 20th position to 15th on the leaderboard. So somebody must have slid backwards, and we shall find out who. Everybody's on the up at the moment. Number 16, Dean Martin, is risen from 17th position to 12th position. And number 18, Tony Mason, is risen from 13th to 10th position. The rider arriving now is Dave Matravers, number 23, and he's moved from 12th position to 11th position. But we must remember, of course, that Roy Richardson is one of the early riders to leave the scene, so that would probably have helped Dave Matravers gain that one position. Two more improvers with us now. Number 21, Grant Sellers, has moved from 19th position to 17th position, and he's followed by number 27, Alex Sinclair, the newcomer, who's moved from 15th to 13th. Ron Cooper too, number 20, has improved his position. He's moved from 21st to 18th position. This is Bruno Leroy, number 30, the Frenchman, riding under the Patrick Gaudet banner, and he's now in 16th position. He's still gaining experience of the course, and that's his prime reason for being here this year. Very close racing now between number 50, Peter Symes, the first of the 250s, and number 22, Arthur Browning, on his AJS Seb Mar. He's in 20th position. Number 24, Tim Vernal, and number 29, Joel Williams, were very close together on the last lap, and that's true again on this circuit. And there's Joel on his 350 BSA Gold Star. Well, we're getting to the end of the 350 field and starting to pick up the 250 leaders, and the first of those is 55 Dave Edwards in second position on his Yamaha, and Paul Matravers and his 350 Manx Norton are close behind him. Paul, number 31. Quite a large group coming down from Kate's Cottage now. Number 35 Dave Webber on his match list, number 36 Rob Jones, number 25 Jim Snaith, and the third man on the road in the smaller class, number 53 Bob Millenship. That leaves us with number 28, Jim Creer, who seems to be indicating that he's got some sort of problem, which may account for the fact that he's not recorded as a finisher on this lap. See the time gap before Jeff Bates, number 58, arrived, and he's third in the smaller class. Another delay before we see number 59, Ian Griffiths. Just time to signal the arrival of Dave Clark, number 60, fourth man in the small class, before we're saying hello to Chris Palmer, the leader in the larger capacity race, and with only a few miles to go to the finish. Nearly a minute there, 50 seconds certainly, after the arrival of Chris Palmer. An interview come number 5, Nigel Moore, and Alan Obersby, number 3, is in hot pursuit. Nigel on his Honda, and Alan of course on his 350 AJ. joins the red machine of number 17, the New Zealand emigre Chris Swallow, who second place on the rostrum. And this is number 57, Andy Wilson, one of the late runners in the 250 class, but still circulating safely. Now it's time to log the arrival of machine number 6, rider Alec Whitwell, position number 6 on the leaderboard. And close behind him is number 15, Peter Richardson, on his Honda, who was in 5th position on the leaderboard by the time he reached the grandstand. We've now seen virtually half the field in the 350 class, and this is number 9, Bob Price, in 8th position. Bike coming into view now is number 14, Meredith Owen, in 9th position, and he's followed by number 19, Ken Davis, on his 350 Bates machine, and behind those two is number 7, Chris Petty, in 13th position. And here come 10th and 11th place men, number 16, Dean Martin, and number 18, Tony Mason, both of them riding 350 Hondas. And this is 12th place man, number 27, newcomer Alex Sinclair. Number 21, Grant Sellers, in 15th position on his 350 Manx Norton, announces his presence from a long way off. Very distinctive sound. Number 20, Brian Cooper, safely through in 17th position, and he's followed by number 29, Joel Williams, in 18th position. This is rider number 24, Tim Vernal, on his Aermacchi, and he's in 20th position. And behind Tim Vernal is rider number 55, Dave Edwards, at the end of his third lap on the smaller class bike, and he will be second on the rostrum.
That was number 55. Two more on their way.
We had a similar group arriving at the end of the last lap, and similar riders in fact. 35 Dave Webber on his match list, followed by number 36 Rob Jones, and they're followed this time by number 31 Paul Matravers. And this is the last runner in the 350 class, number 25 Jim Snaefell. Interestingly, the lower place riders don't appear to be going appreciably slower. It must be a question of the small time losses all the way around the course. The attrition amongst the smaller bikes has been quite heavy, and this is number 58 Jeff Bates, who will actually be in third position. It wasn't a terribly large field, but the attrition has probably been greater than 50%. And there we will leave the racing from Creg-ny-Ba in the smaller classes, 350s and the 250s, and run through the leaderboard and congratulate those who have achieved the greatest success, and thank the rest for a wonderful day's racing and a fine spectacle and a fine advertisement for road racing on the Isle of Man. And thank you again to the Manx Motorcycle Club for giving me the opportunity to film the event.